Ένα-δύο λεπτάκια μέχρι να δεις να πάνε, ας πούμε, να μπήκαν. Okay.
Κάτσε, γιατί βλέπω τον κόσμο τώρα μπαίνει. Okay. Ioana, how much time should we give them? 5 to 10 minutes, 5. Okay, all right, that's fine. Chat, there's somebody chatting already. Okay. Just let me get my notebook so I can make a few comments if I want. Oops. Can people see me now? Mm-hmm. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're going to give a couple of more minutes to people to join in, if that's okay with everyone. Okay. No more than 5 minutes. Okay. So if you want to grab your cup of coffee or your tea or your hot chocolate, okay, feel free to do so. Okay. You've got time. All right. Okay, can you see people in the chat where they're from? Mm-hmm. So I can say good morning to various places in Greece. Okay, good morning to Tripolis, Iraklio, Abelokippos in Athens, Orestiada, hello, Aegio, Thebes, okay, Ancient Olympia, oh wow, my favorite places. Karlovas Samos, brilliant, okay. Hanya, good morning. My favorite place. I had my accident there, but it's still one of my favorite places, okay? I'll be joining you in spring there, okay? Yes? Kavala, right? Corfu. Soufli Evros, good morning. Simatari, okay, near us. Xanthi, yes. Again from Hanya, Chalkida, good morning to Chalkida, or nearby Chalkida, yes. Pyrgos, okay, down the Peloponnese, right. Hope you're well now. Thank you, thank you. For those of you who are joining us for the second time, thank you for your wishes. I'm much better. I'm not even using a cane anymore, so I've done well, okay. Your wishful thinking was with me, okay. Right. Kalamata, lovely. It's so good to be with everyone. Okay. Now, I know you've taken the time from, your morning activities, your Christmas shopping, your Christmas decorating at your homes and your schools, and I sincerely thank you. What I will be doing today is going through what we at B.E.S.A have to offer to Greek language professionals. I will be giving you all the info that is required for you to have an insight of what the level 5 diploma in education and training is. And we'll be in the UK during the next 2 months. Colleagues are flying over to the UK We are being trained to train you in cooperation with a higher education institution for the level 5 diploma in education and training. I'll give you all the info during the third part of this presentation. Hopefully, Elaine Ruddock, who's head of standards, and Lucy Strand will be able to join us. They were going through an Ofqual audit previous time. They still have a lot to do, believe me, but I hope they'll be joining us to greet you. Okay, yes, Q&A. Ioana has just told me that if you have any questions, any question whatsoever, please be so kind as to write down anything you wish to be answered on the Q&A, not the chat line. Ioana will tell you why. Okay, Ioana, tell them why. So as not to get confused, okay? All right, so we can respond appropriately, okay? All right, so I'm going to give you a bit of info on B.E.S.A, okay? We have been around as a team for and language professionals for a very long time, most of us around 30 years. So it's, I would say we have the experience and the know-how as regards, you know, what's going on in the ELT market and more specifically in Greece. So there is a team of 10 individuals who are working nonstop at the moment to bring new educational products to Greece that have to do with training and assessment. There's a distinction to be made here, okay? When we say training, we do not mean language training. So we are not involved in teaching ESOL, okay? Let's get that straight, okay? So in 2018, we opened up as PACE ahead, and we are, you know, representing institutions such as the Chartered Institute of Linguists that offers a diploma in translation, which is the gold seal, if anyone wants to be a translator. INTERSOL Worldwide, which is involved in training teachers of VFL to teach English as a foreign language or a second language, to teach business English, English online, etc. We are in cooperation with ICC for the EUROLTA, which is being offered in Greece by a colleague, a distinguished colleague of ours, Mrs. Iphigenia Georgiadi. Yes, I was going to give the wrong last name. Sorry about that, because a lot of last names in my head. Okay, in my head, excuse me. So she offers the EUROLTA teacher training certificate that allows a teacher, a language teacher, to teach from English to Greek, okay, international certification. And we also represent Eden 51. This has been awarded and it is supported by the British government. It's a platform, an educational platform to improve students' language skills. Tom Reynolds, who is responsible for this, has been in Greece twice. He will be visiting Greece and he will be in exhibitions, hopefully during the spring. Okay, now I'm going to brief you, okay, as regards the certification that we have. First of all, just a brief introduction for the Diploma in Translation, which is composed of 3 units. It's an examination that is taken online and it will be paper-based again as of this year. So we have the diploma, which is composed of 3 units. So you are examined in written translation of a general text, written translation of a semi-specialized text in one of the following. It can be technology, it can be business, and it can be literature. And you have unit 3, where you are examined on written translation, again, of a semi-specialized text in one of the following: science, social science, law, arts, and culture. Now, you can sit the 3 units, okay, in one session, or you can take one unit at a time. If you take all 3 units and you fail in one, you are allowed to resit in a specific time slot. Okay. This is regarding the diploma in translation. I will move on now to ESOL Worldwide. Okay. Now, ESOL Worldwide, just to brief you, was established in the early 90s. It is one of the first companies that have started teacher training long distance back in those days and online later on. It is run by Linda Hazelwood. Now, Linda Hazelwood was posted at the British Council in Greece during the 80s, decade of the 80s and early 90s. She left for the UK in the early 90s and set up this corporation. Now, what this certificate offers is 150 hours of quality training, teaching practice, which can be observed online or by video submission, online training with an MA qualified experienced trainer, certification issued by the accrediting body, dual certification, which is available both by ESOL Worldwide and A.L.E.P. Okay, an issue number which is verifiable on accrediting body website. Basically, our major advantage is that we have 30 years of experience and 30 years of quality to back this up. And employers seek out ESOL graduates. For example, at the moment, Vietnam is acknowledging the certificate. It's being acknowledged by the Ministry of Education. So in order to teach in Vietnam and in the near future, very near future in China, you will have to have this certification, okay? You have a choice of online or video teaching practice, and it is CELTA equivalent, okay? All right, now, of course, there is the Teaching Business English certificate, which is very, very useful. It's a short course, and people can do this course and move on to teach business English and offer to their students, the alternative of not only having a general English certification, for example, a C2 level certificate, but also a business English certificate. And there are quite a few awarding bodies that offer this as well. And of course, there is the certificate in English language teaching. We started this in 2018, just before the pandemic, and it went quite well. And a lot of our graduates are working now teaching online in Spain, for Spanish, excuse me, employers, Poland, China. Of course, there might be some, there's a time difference, okay, but, people cater for their own needs, so it basically works out, okay. All right, and now we come to our gem, okay. Our gem at B.E.S.A is VTCT, iTEC VTCT. VTCT stands for Vocational Training and Charitable Trust. It's one of the largest organizations in the UK. I think it's the 7th or 8th, okay. And it has over 800 qualifications, which are all regulated by Ofqual. There's a mistake here. There's over 861, to be precise, qualifications, okay? So it caters for literally every trade, whether it's education, beauty, accounting, you name it, they have it, okay? It is internationally recognized, which is very, very important. It's not just present, for example, in Spain or in Greece or in Italy. It's in over, not 52, but 63 countries, because they're adding on, a country every month, literally, okay. And it's now in Greece recognized by ΑΣΕΠ. It has been actually since I think it was the 1st of February last year. Not last year, this year, 2023. 1st of February, okay. Right, so what is VTCT's role in Europe and in the UK in particular? They have an active role in advancing education in the UK. So they are really policy makers, which means that they are asked by the government each time there needs to be a change in anything concerning education. So they're at the heart of the conversation, and we basically engage with our stakeholders, employers, sector skills councils, centers, and learners. And VTCT helps to shape reform of national standards for the future of education. And they work with regulators to action education policy decisions, which is very, very important. Whoops. Okay. So we have VTCT, iTEC, Skills First, and Skills for Logistics. I'm not going to go into that. It's going to take a lot of time. This is a world map, and you can see our international footprint, okay? And their aim for the next 2 years is to have little white dots all over the world, and they will achieve it. Okay, so speaking of regulation and recognition, VTCT is a regulated awarding organization. First of all, it's recognized by Ofqual, which is the regulator for England, Qualifications Wales, which is the regulator for Wales, CQA accreditation, which is the regulator for Scotland, CCAA, the regulator for Northern Ireland, QQI, regulator for Ireland. And of course, we're not limited to one sector, and VTCT's qualifications are recognized by ministries of education across the world. Something which is very important is, just a second, okay, that VTCT actually has offices in Ireland, so they are, as a matter of fact, within the European Union. So that allows them to, go ahead with many things. They have no restrictions like Britain has now because of Brexit, okay? So that is a plus for us, for all of us, actually. Okay, now this is VTCT's group's qualification portfolio, and please pay attention because all of this that you see, okay, will be active as of 2025 within the Greek market. We're working very hard towards this. So they are dealing with qualifications in education, okay, functional skills and language, teacher training, management and leadership, logistics, complementary therapies, hospitality and catering, beauty therapy, apprenticeships, sport, active health and leisure, customer service, employability skills, well-being, early years education and childcare, quality assurance, hairdressing and barbering, clinical aesthetics, business and retail, and financial trading. For example, in Cyprus, okay, if anyone visits Cyprus, okay, they'll see quite a few training centers that have to deal with, let's say, hairdressing and barbering, who offer their qualifications because they're considered very important. VTCT has been running strong since 1960, okay? So they do have the experience, the know-how, the personnel, the data to get things moving. So I'm going to switch now, and I'm going to go to something more specific that is of your concern, basically. It's the English language portfolio that they deal with. Okay, so VTCT deals with ESOL International, with the key skills, the core skills, the functional skills. They understand the longevity in English language qualifications, the importance of language and communication, and they are committed to English language qualifications that support pathways to employment. I'm going to make a note of that, and you make a note of that too, because I will fill you in on that, okay? And effective communication is not just a skill, it is a powerful tool. Now, when we say pathways to employment, okay, English language qualifications that support pathways to employment, this means that VTCT offers in the UK, and perhaps later on, you know, in the rest of the world, they offer the assistance and the credibility, the qualifications for refugees, for immigrants, for people who want to find their way, you know, into a new country, etc. Okay, so it's, as you can understand, it's a very important organization because they have a very strong, you know, humanistic side as well. Okay, so our purpose and mission. Okay. Our purpose is to provide learners and their educational institutions an outstanding experience through the delivery of our core activities of awarding, assessment, accreditation, research, and digital education. Now, the advancement of education for the public good, which is very important. I think it's the cornerstone of every awarding body and every education establishment, providing a direct line of sight to a job, enhancing learners' knowledge and skills, and thereby improving career prospects. Okay, now I'm going to go on and fill you in a bit on ESOL International qualifications. These are the qualifications that the Greek market we've introduced these qualifications to the Greek market. And for the time being, we're working on young learners too. We offer B1, B2, C1, and C2 language examinations, okay, ESOL examinations. Now, why VTCT? There's so many awarding bodies, and I understand that there are pillars in the awarding body industry, such as Cambridge, and we're not competing with anyone, but we are here to cater for students' needs. And if you wish to have an alternative, or if you like the format, you're more than welcome to join us. Okay, well, VTCT works on, you know, supporting employability, career progression routes, recognized qualifications, comprehensive assessment, and increased confidence. These are all, you know, entwined, and it's something that they actually have and support. Now, concerning the delivery of assessment, we have monthly exams windows, okay? Now, this means that we have, in Greece, 9 exam sessions, okay? Starting as of 2024, we will have exams in January, February, April, May, June, July, September, November, and December. So we have 9 months of exams, okay, but we don't have exams in October, okay, in March, and in August. We have paper-based delivery. We have timetabled release of results. Okay, we will have online delivery as well as of 2024, the randomized question papers, and we have a fast turnaround results. Ioana, we get results back in something like 4 to 5 weeks, okay? So if anyone wants a certification, for example, for an application for a job in the public sector, or for a postgraduate certification course, they have the choice, you know, and it's we do everything to cater for people like that. We do have fast track results too, but for a limited number of candidates. For example, we can't have more than 6 or 7 fast track results in an exam session, and there is an extra charge for that. It doesn't have to do with us. It has to do with the UK. Okay. All right. So there's a Greek part here too. I apologize if there are any native speakers online, but I will translate. Okay. Now, why choose VTCT, ESOL International? Because they're friendly towards the candidate. There's one format for all levels. There's a 50% base pass rate, multiple choice in questions in both the reading sectors and the listening. There's an overall grading for listening, reading, writing, and speaking. The topics are very, contemporary. It's nothing unusual. Okay. 9 exam sessions throughout the academic year. 2 essays, 1 which is mandatory and 1 which is optional out of 4. Okay. The oral part of the exam is a minimum of 6 minutes onwards, up to 10, 11 minutes. Okay. Maximum of 5 weeks for the results. And if anyone fails, they have a free reset. Okay. I'm going to take you through the exams now. Okay. All right. Okay, so I'm going to start with B1, just take you through. You have the listening, which is 20 minutes, the reading, which is 45 minutes, the writing, which is 70 minutes, and the oral examination, which is 6 minutes upwards, as I stated. Okay, now this is something very important here. All of the parts are heard twice. Okay, there is no dictation. It's all multiple choice. The recordings are excellent, and we make certain that the quality of sound during each exam sitting is very, it's grand. Okay, let me put it this way. Okay, because we've all had problems with the audio quality in the past. Our venues are mostly in private colleges, so it's fairly decent. Let me put it this way. Okay, so you have part 1. Okay. Part 2. Sorry, part 1. Oops. I'm not doing this well. Okay. You have 7 questions. You hear 7 sentences or questions, and you look for the right response in part 1. Okay. In part 2, you listen to a conversation, then select the correct answer, something which everyone is familiar to. Okay. Part 3, you listen to a broadcast, and then you select the correct answer. Again, it's something that is present in every textbook for practice. Okay. Speaking of practice books, etc., 2 publishers will have 2 books out in early 2024, as of next year. It will be for B2 and C2, not C1 yet, okay, because the Greek market usually prepares students for B2 and then for C2. For some reason, I don't know why, people have stopped. Well, they haven't stopped, but the number of candidates for C1, this concerns all awarding bodies, not VTC alone, has dropped considerably in the past years, in the past 7 years or so. Okay. Although, mind you, I'm sure that you know this, but C1 is a certification that is recognized by UCAS for most colleges and universities abroad. So if you're preparing your students, it's good for them to sit C1 because, first of all, they test themselves, they evaluate themselves, and they can carry on to C2. And if for any reason, touch wood, they can't complete a C2 course, at least they have a certification in their hands that will allow them to continue their further studies. Okay. All right, so let's go on to the reading. Okay. Now, you have a text here, and you read the text below, and you select the correct answer to questions, okay? Multiple choice again, all right? Now, what do these questions involve? Let's see, okay? I can't see this because I've got, okay. So you have, usually check your usage here, okay? So you find the mistake or the line that has a spelling error, okay, a punctuation error, a word that needs, that is not correct, that can be a tense that is not correct, okay, a grammatical error, perhaps a vocabulary error or fill-in, okay. All right, and you have, of course, your passages that contain your basic text and the questions that you answer, the multiple choice questions. So there's no summary of a text involved, nothing that has to do with that. Okay. I'm going to move on to reading for part 1. Okay. Here you can see the 4 options that you have. Okay. This is very straightforward. We've all taught, okay, these things. It's nothing any course book will do. It's nothing that students are unfamiliar with, okay? So example, in option A, you have a tourist attraction in your area and you were disappointed with your experience. You decide to write an article for your local newspaper about your experience, including your article. So you have your bullet points here that your students can work on. For example, you are required to write about the details of the tourist attraction you visited, why you felt disappointed, what could be improved, okay, whether it's important to attract tourists to the local area. Now, show me a textbook that doesn't have this, okay? In option B, you have recently tried out a new app designed to help with studying, and you decide to write a review for a magazine, include in your review the features of the app, who the app would be particularly suitable for, what you found useful about the app, some suggestions for improving the app. Now, this is, I have to say this, and I will say this. People who are my age, okay, and I am way over 50, okay, usually do not choose this topic, but you have teenagers or young adults who write beautifully about this. I mean, they know what they are writing about, and it's a pleasure. Markers have told me this from England. It's a pleasure to read their essays, okay? Now, you have a writing, which is a piece of writing required for a blog, where you can give your opinion on different topics, okay? For example, there's a topic here on music in my life, and you include in your life how important music is. You include in your writing, excuse me, how important music is in your life, when you prefer to listen to music, how to discover new types of music, whether you sign or play any instruments. Now, as you can see, this is, in a sense, I'm not going to say guided writing, but I think it's offering tremendous assistance, okay, to a candidate who might be having, an anxiety attack on the day of the exams. But if he sees, that he has his bullet point, or she, if they have their bullet points, it relieves them, from all that pressure and stress that they have. And it's a guideline in the sense, you write 1, 2, 3, 4, you know what to write about, you have an idea, and you brainstorm and you get the job done. That's it. Now, in option D, you have, your college wants an update to update its website, so you decide to write a proposal. Now, you teach people how to write proposals so they know how they should do it. And the question offers, again, bullet points where, and the candidate sees the bullet points and they carry on to write their piece. So here, who uses the website? The information that needs to be included. What will encourage more people to use the website? An offer to help with their update. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4. Even the weaker students, okay, are able to cope with this, you know, and manage a pass mark, because it's literally guided. There's a lot of assistance here. You tell them, you know, you ask them what to write about specifically, which is great help. Okay, so that was the optional. You choose from A to D. In part 2, we have the informal piece of writing. Part A is formal. The part two, excuse me, is informal. So you have to write an informal response in the correct format for the type of text. So, for example, you usually write an email, okay, to a friend, a colleague, etc. Okay. Now, I want you to please take a note of this. It's not penalized if they don't say to, from, okay, to Mark, from Jenny. It's not penalized, but please make a note that your students, when they are requested to write an email, okay, they should have the appropriate heading, to, from, subject. It's if it's more formal. If it's informal, okay, to, from, okay, just so that the examiner knows that you know, the candidate has understood that they are writing an email, not just dear Tom, blah blah blah. To, from. Please make a note of this. Okay, thank you. So again, here you have a guideline, what to include in your email. So, you know, you ask what your friend is planning to study, explain why going straight to university may be best, recommend good ways of spending a year off, and suggest who to talk to for more advice. Again, very, very straightforward. Okay, this concerns B2. In C1, you see the same format again. Okay. I don't feel that I should go through this in detail. Okay. In C2, I'm gonna give you a few tips here. Okay. Now, the listening again has the same format as well as the reading and the writing. Okay. Now, again, the listening and the use of English has the same format. I'm going to go straight to the writing because I want to stress a few things here. Okay. Now, here, again, we have 4 options. Now, you're all teachers, and we know that students are pressed for time. Parents ask us to prepare students who are in the 3rd grade of high school for, you know, to sit after a 1-year course for proficiency level. Okay, now proficiency level is not a B2 plus level. Okay, it is not a C1 level, it's C2, which means that there are specific demands when it comes to writing and speaking. Now, obviously, this is a foreign language speaker, okay, and someone who is writing in their 2nd language or foreign language, and he cannot be as brilliant, or we hope to God that he is or she is as brilliant, okay, as a fluent native speaker, okay? But we have to make certain that our students, okay, this is a tip that I'm going to give you because I had a very long discussion with a marker the other day, and she told me that ChatGPT is doing more harm than good. Now, why am I saying this? Your students who go off, you know, and prepare their homework to come back to your classes, etc. You might have 1 or 2 or more who will write an essay, you know, using their using technology. Now, or they might have prepared something like, you know, 10, 12, I don't know, essays before any exam. Okay, they probably memorized, you know, they're ready-made, in the sense that you've worked on tourist attractions, vacations, blah, blah, blah. What someone who is marking a writing piece, you know, is looking for, and you know this because you're experienced, all of your experienced teachers, is basically that someone has their format, someone has their grammar, their punctuation, their vocabulary, their style, and it has to be real. It has to be authentic. For example, when students use cliche phrases, okay, it's all right to say to cut a long story short or other phrases. But if they have memorized, you know, phrases which are too advanced, if I may say so, and they just stick them in a paragraph, put them in any paragraph, markers tend to penalize this. So make sure that when you train your students, when you teach them, that they know all of this and that they present authentic, real material, and that they have a lot of practice. I don't know if you have mock exams in your schools or in your classes or not, but it does help to have at least 1 or 2 mock exams before they actually sit any exam, for that matter of fact. I think it's great help. Okay, so again, here you have back to the exam, the format. You have the same format. 4 optional choices. Okay, you either choose option A, B, C, or D. And in one, you have a letter, a formal letter to an editor, for example, or a company, an article, okay, an email. Again, here, when you write an email to your local government or council, suggest how to attract more visitors. When you have the email here, okay, at proficiency level, if they don't have to, from, and subject, this is penalized, okay? So teach them, tell them, remind them that they have to do this, okay? And again, you have the formal letter for suggestions, etc. It's, I think it's very straightforward, and people should have no difficulty in completing it and achieving a pass mark, okay, if they're well prepared. Okay, now part 2, you have an informal letter here, a response, okay. And you can see you have instructions, write an informal response in the correct format for the type of text. Please pay attention to the required word count for your text. Another thing here concerning word count, please be so kind as to remind your students that they should not exceed the word count. For example, if the word count is up to 300 words, it's okay if they have 320 words. If they have 350 words, they will be penalized. Okay, so they will lose marks, and there's no reason for that, really, is there? Again, they shouldn't have, if it's from 250 upwards to 300, they shouldn't have 200 words. Again, they will be penalized, okay? So you have to take care of that and make certain that they don't actually, you know, exceed or right below the word count that is required. Okay. All right, let's now go into the speaking. Okay, now you notice that we say 6 minutes. Okay, the speaking is not 6 minutes. There's a minimum of 6 minutes. Okay, it can go up to 10 minutes. Highest, if it's 10 minutes, I think we stop at 10, right? Yeah, okay. So they are asked to produce speech for 5 questions. There are no personal questions asked in the sense, tell me about your family, nor warm-up questions of such a kind, okay? Because the awarding body VTCT does not. They feel that a candidate, might get upset if they ask an individual, a child, a teenager, for example, please tell me about your family members, and someone might have passed away, or they might have gone through a divorce. So more general questions. Okay, 5 general questions, very easy to deal with. Okay, I mean, where would you like to visit in the next year? Why do you want to go there? What do you like to do for exercise? What is your routine in the morning? What do you do at the weekend? What kind of holiday do you prefer? Straightforward, and the candidate feels free to expand. And if the examiner sees that we are, we're taking up a lot of time in part 1, he will politely, or she will politely stop them and carry on to the next part. So this is part 1, which is fairly straightforward. Now, for part 2, there's a situation here. We're using scenarios, and it's basically, we're testing the ability of a candidate to have a conversation with an educated native speaker about current topics. For example, here's a good example here. We're going to discuss friendships, and you have questions to help the candidate elaborate on this. So you ask them, is it good to have a wide variety of friends? Where do your friends live, and what do they do? Do you get in touch with old friends, and how? Okay, I mean, the examiner is allowed to ask one more question. Okay, how do you meet? Do you meet new people through your friends, etc.? Let's see. Another scenario is we are going to discuss, whoops, lost it. We're going to discuss the different regions of your country, things to think about. Which are the most famous regions in your country? What are the different industries of regions of your country? Areas which are particularly wealthy or deprived, and regions which are undergoing change or being developed. Iana, can I ask for a favor? Because I'm missing, before I do something wrong, can you reach me? Excuse me just for a minute. I'm missing, yeah. Bear with me a minute, please. I apologize for interrupting. Sorry, my mistake here. Okay. There are 4 scenarios here. I've just chosen scenario 1 and scenario 2. Okay, so we won't go on forever. Second scenario here, we're going to discuss the different regions of your country. So things to think about: which are the most famous regions in your country? What are the different industries of regions of your country? Areas which are particularly wealthy or deprived, and regions which are undergoing change or are being developed. Okay. Can I please have a sip of coffee? Thank you. Okay. Oh, thank you. And a glass of water here. Good, lovely. Okay. So that was the second part. We send the scenarios, okay, and the photos, okay, to the schools, okay, so they can be well prepared. Not the questions, okay, for the scenarios and the photos, okay. So you have a lot of help. You don't have access to the first part at all, and for the second and third, you get the scenarios, okay, not the questions, and you get the photos, so you have an idea of what the candidate will be examined on. Okay, so I'm going to go first to the pictures. Okay, so here is image 1. Okay, you can see the image here. All right, there's a teacher in a traditional, I think it's an Asian country or South American country. Okay, and I want you to look at the question. Okay, here, the first question. What makes a good teacher? There is no description, okay, of required from a candidate. I mean, tell your candidates, tell your pupils that you will not be asked to describe picture, okay, the picture that you see. You see the picture and you have specific questions to answer, like what makes a good teacher? What makes a good class? Is studying by yourself important? Do people help each other learn? Okay, now if you look, whoops, at image 2, okay, and this is very, very Christmassy, isn't it? Okay. You have questions like, do you like outdoor sports? Do you think it is important to challenge yourself? Are too many people doing dangerous sports? What do we get out of achieving difficult things? Okay. This is image 3. Okay. You can see this here. It's a demonstration. And I think it has to do with a feminist group. So let's see. And you have beautiful questions like, is self-expression important? What do you feel strongly about? What is the best way to achieve change? Should we protest if we disagree with something? Okay, and image 4, you can see, okay, a group of people working on a project here. And you have questions like, what can you see in the picture? What are the advantages and disadvantages of working in a team? What are the best ways of managing people? Okay. All right. Very straightforward. Okay, just a second. I'm going to go through this very, whoops. Okay. And that concerns the all of the ESOL. So, okay. So we have B1 to C2. We will be having young learners as well hopefully by March. And we also have online exams as of February 2024. Oh, it's okay. In January, it's being piloted, excuse me. Okay, so we have 9 exam sessions: January, February, April, May, June, July, September, November, and December. It's good if you have this because you can plan ahead. And if you are planning, for example, to have your students sit for May, okay, or for June, it's good that we know beforehand so we can make the appropriate arrangements. Because if you come in, let's say, with a late entry of 10 or 12 students, it will cause upheaval because, you know, hotels have to be booked, premises where the exams are going to take place. And it's very important that everything is done properly. The office is open 9 to 5. You can come and see us by appointment, or you can call us, or you can email us. We will answer the same day or the next or the following day. Okay. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to answer all questions. Okay. When we finish this, okay? So I'm not going to stop now to answer any questions. I'm going to go on straight to something which I think you should learn about. Okay, in my previous webinar, I slightly touched on the education and training, and we received a good number of emails from people who were interested in the level 5 diploma in education and training. Okay, now you can see in this slide that you have level 3, okay, level 4, and level 5, okay. Anything that is above level 5, okay, for example, level 5 is considered B.Tech, H&D are level 5, the equivalent of Greek EEC and the certification offered by A.S. P in Greece, okay? This is the level 5 equivalent of EQF. Level 6 is a master's equivalent, it's a bachelor's equivalent, not a master's, excuse me. That's level 6. And level 7 is postgraduate, okay, which is master's equivalent. And level 8 is PhD. And that's it concerning the EQF, the European Qualification Framework. So I'm going to talk about the level 5, the VTCT level 5 diploma in education and training. Now, this is a very important certificate because it allows you to teach in a number of schools, education establishments throughout the UK and in Europe. Okay, so I'm going to take you through this. Okay, get rid of this. Okay, so it provides the knowledge, the understanding, and skills to teach and develop a range of personal qualities and attributes required for teaching, assessing, and supporting learners. It offers education about wider professional practice, theories, principles, and models in education, as well as teaching, learning, and assessment in education. It also provides the opportunity to choose from a range of optional units, including action research, inclusive practice, which is very important, teaching in a specialist area, and preparing for the personal tutoring role. And it's an international recognized qualification for those individuals who aspire to hold a teaching role with an extensive range of teaching or training responsibilities. As I said, it is something which is good to have in your hands. And if people, let's say, have been teaching with a C2 level certificate for some time and hold no other qualification or qualification for a teacher, they've had a teacher training certification of whether it's CELTER or whatever, it's also good to have this because it will open up a lot of doors for you. And that's a promise. Now, the entry requirements. VTCT qualifications are available to anyone who is capable of reaching the required standards. Applicants are expected to have adequate qualifications and a keen interest in teaching and learning. So, pay attention to this. The accepted qualifications for this, okay, are BTEC H&C or BTEC H&D or undergraduate or postgraduate from a recognized university. Our program has been developed free from any barriers that restrict access or progression, thereby promoting equal opportunities. And candidates with no formal qualifications may also be accepted via relevant work experience route under case-by-case basis. So if you are someone who has, let's say, an ESOL qualification, a B.E.S.A qualification, a bachelor, a master's, fine. You are welcome. If you are someone who has an eparquia, okay, and has been teaching for 20 years, for 25 years, again, you are welcome, okay? If you have worked, if you have a C2 level, you have a teacher training certificate, and you have worked online or in English schools abroad, and you have the experience, again, you are welcome. Acceptance is based on the criteria, basically, for accepting someone to join a course, whether it's in the UK or whether it's online here in Greece in cooperation with the UK. It's basic, you know, it's case by case. It's on a case by case basis. So VTCT examines each application individually. Okay. So what you will learn, the learner will need to meet the following requirements below before the qualification can be awarded. So you have a minimum number of credits that must be achieved, which is 120. A number of mandatory credits that must be achieved, and I'll show you later on this means, which must be 75, and a number of optional credits that must be achieved, which is 45 credits, okay? Now, here you have the unit options, okay? The optional and the mandatory. I'm going to start from the mandatory, which is what you see on your right. So if you see, okay, you have 4 modules, okay, 4 units, and you have to take all of them. And you see the credits, okay? Excuse me, 3 modules, okay? You have, for level 5, you have developing, teaching, learning, and assessment, education, and training, okay? Theories, principles, and models in education and training, wider professional practice and development, education and training. Sorry, and you have to take the first one as well from level 4, which is teaching, learning, and assessment, education and training. My apologies. Okay, so you have 75. Can you count? You can count the credits here. You have 75 credits in total. So you have to actually take all these in order to complete the first part of you see these are the mandatory units, okay? And you then move on to the optional units where you need a minimum of 45 credits, okay? And here you can choose from action research, inclusive practice, teaching in a specialist area, delivering employability skills, excuse me, preparing for the mentoring role, developing, using, and organizing resources in a specialist area, and preparing for the personal tutoring role. Here you choose, but you have to have a total of 45 credits, okay? So, for example, you can choose action research, which is 15 credits, okay? Developing, using, and organizing resources in a specialist area, another 15, okay? Teaching in a specialist area, which is another 15, and you have your 45 credits, okay? It's very straightforward, and you can see where it says GL. Can you see GL here? This means guided learning, okay? So you have guided learning. There are tutors that will guide you through this, okay? Now, how is this assessed? Okay, so this qualification is assessed through a portfolio of evidence. A portfolio will confirm the knowledge, understanding, and skills that you have learned. This is the latest trend in teacher training. And if you check the UROLTA teacher training or any other teacher training, you need nowadays to have your portfolio. Now, this may include evidence such as observed work, witness statements, and audiovisual media. You also need to have evidence of prior learning or attainment. So you will be asked to have your written questions, okay, oral questions, assignments, case studies, and lesson plans, okay? You can understand that you cannot gain a certification, education, and training without providing, for example, a lesson plan or an assignment, okay? All right. The National Occupational Standards, this qualification has been mapped to the relevant NOS and is regulated on the Regulated Qualifications Framework. This means Ofqual. Okay, this is regulated by Ofqual. It's not any certificate that has just, sprang up out of the blue. It's something that has been beautifully designed. It has been piloted, it has been tested, and it's been running for a number of years in UK colleges and establishments of further and higher education. It is not something new. It is new to us, okay? Now the progression routes from this qualification include higher education programs in education or employment in a teaching or education. What does this mean? It means that you can do this either through a college or university in the UK, or if you're employed in teaching or education, you might be a teacher in a school, you might be in a private language school, in a public high school, you might be a lecturer at university, okay? If you are employed as a teacher, you might be a self-employed teacher, okay? If you are employed in teaching or education, this is, you can go ahead and do this online, etc. Oops. Okay, yeah. All right, now, at this point, before, I'm gonna I have thought it would be a good idea to answer questions, okay? And I see that you have a few questions, okay? So you're more than welcome. Yes.
Maria's asking, do you also offer international qualifications for already qualified English teachers so that they are eligible for working in other countries?
Yes, as I said, ESOL worldwide is in cooperation with us, so we offer TEFL, TBE, CELTO, online, and we also offer the EUROLTA certification, which if you're interested in teaching, let's say, Greek to foreign language speakers, you can complete this certification through Iphigenia Georgiadi and her center in cooperation with us, and you can carry on and do so. Yes.
Okay.
And excuse me, Ioana, and the level 5 diploma in education and training will be available as of March in Greece. Okay, so you can start if you wish and complete this, and you can find work in the UK el pronto with this. Okay, thank you.
You didn't mention the names of the two publishing companies.
I cannot mention, I apologize for this. I cannot mention the names of the two publishing companies yet. They will, I am minded, sorry, I was asked not to, but they're well-known Greek publishing companies, and you will have the books in January, early February, okay? The latest.
Is
Yes.
level 5 equivalent to RSA diploma?
I think that RSA diploma is something in between level 5 and level 6. Okay, but it is equivalent to RSA is level 5 mostly, I think, not level 6, because level 6 is clearly a bachelor, not a diploma. It's a bachelor. Okay. Level 6 in the EQF. Yes.
Is level 5 accepted for teaching in any institutes in Greece?
We are working on this at the moment. I'm working very hard on this, okay, because it doesn't have to do with the UK. It has to do with the Ministry of Education in Greece. And associations, myself and other people are working very hard towards this.
Angeliki says, what about teachers like me who only have a C2 ECPE certificate, never had the chance to obtain eparchia, and have at least 10-year experience in teaching as a private tutor? Is there anything we can do in order to expand our knowledge and our diplomas?
Yes, I will get back, Angeliki. You have her details?
We'll have them afterwards.
Okay, that's fine. Angeliki, I will inquire about this, but I'm sure that if you provide evidence of your teaching, okay, we have to have solid evidence of your teaching in order to allow someone to sit for the tutorials for the diploma in education and training. Okay, have I answered your question?
Julia says, is this a general teaching certificate or for teaching ESL, EFL?
No, it has to do with pedagogy. It's a general, okay, teaching certificate. Can I go back with this? Yes, I can. Yes, all right. I'm showing you the modules, okay? I call them modules, not units, okay? Now, if you see, you have teaching, learning, and assessment in education and training. It doesn't strictly refer to ESOL, okay? You apply it to ESOL, okay? To EFL. It can be, you can be, let's say, someone in the UK, or here can be, I don't know, a French teacher or a robotics teacher or whatever, and they want this is a certification concerning education, okay? And education and EFL and ESL are like this. They're, you know.
Regarding the answer you gave previously,
Yes.
Maria Angeliki asked, what kind of solid evidence? Or may I ask what kind of evidence?
Let's see. For example, if they have registered, if they have, Elaine told me, I remember, if they have registered students in any awarding body, if they've sent students to I can't name awarding bodies now, but if they've sent them to some awarding bodies and they have solid evidence of this, if we have written statements of students that they have obtained a certificate, etc. If they have, let's say, certifications of seminars or teacher training, if they completed any teacher training course of any kind.
I don't know if Lucy's aware of this answer, but she's coming online in 5 minutes.
That's brilliant. Okay. So, any other questions?
Yeah, sure.
Mm-hmm.
So if we are already teachers and have a university degree, what more does this diploma offer us?
Well, it depends on you, really. If you want to move, not to move, but to work somewhere else, okay, other than Greece, it makes your route there easier, your journey there easier. For example, if you decide to go to a summer school in the UK, okay, and it's UK English that you opt for, or not an equal school necessarily, but, you know, UK English, which it's my personal opinion, of course, okay, I consider top-notch, you will be preferred to someone who has done, you know, just any simple training course, okay? Of course, if you're a university graduate, this might seem fairly easy to you, okay? But VTCT caters, as I previously mentioned, excuse me, for people in society to move on, to progress, okay? So it's up to you, really, and I'm being extremely honest about this, but it is more specific concerning, you know, education and training. You might be exempt, I don't know yet. I haven't, to be quite frank, I haven't inquired that, okay, to Elaine, but I will, and I will write back, okay?
Is the preparation for the teacher's diploma offered online? If so, is it in synchronous or asynchronous mode?
Okay, that is a very good question, and I will have that answered, okay, as soon as we have reached an agreement with the UK and the institutions we will be working with early February. Okay, that's why I said that we'll be starting in March, God willing. Okay. Any other question?
No. Lucy is trying to connect. I can see her online.
Okay, lovely. You know,
okay, I do have another question.
Yes.
B.E.S.A, CELTA, TEFL are widely recognized throughout the world, but not in Greece.
Mm-hmm.
An English degree from a Greek university is not a teaching qualification, but it is the only qualification accepted by the Greek government. Now that English is taught from reception, is it likely that it will be accepted soon?
I want to make myself clear about two things, okay? Now, I was a proficiency holder, and I could have worked alone with a proficiency with the eparchia because it was in power then, let me put it this way, but I chose to move to the UK, study for a degree, etc. At the moment, both our departments in Athens and Thessaloniki offer very good training to their undergraduate pupils, and they do train them to teach in classrooms. They have practicums, etc. If anyone finishes a degree, okay, in my opinion, okay, they can complement their learning by taking up any course accredited by the British Council, excuse me, or any Ministry of Education, etc. I think that it's, if you love learning and if you love your job, you never stop learning. So even if you're I mean, okay, I'm a graduate, doesn't mean that I didn't take up, I did CELTA, I did other things as well, and I never miss a seminar when I have a chance. So it's up to the individual, okay, I think. I don't know if I've answered your question or not, okay.
Okay. If someone is interested in working as an oral examiner for the organization,
yeah,
how can he go about this?
Please send your CV, okay, to the office, and we will take it from there. Our oral examiners have had the first training it was first days of September at Moxie Hotel in Athens, when the girls from the UK, Lucy and Elaine, came over, and Dawn. And they are to have the second part to complete the second part, because they will be certified as oral examiners by Ofqual, okay, in the next few months. Yes, next question.
There are other questions.
No other questions?
Lucy and Hannah.
Yes, okay. We have Lucy and Hannah online who would like to say hello to you all, okay, and to thank you for joining. Go ahead.
The floor is yours, girls.
Oh, good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for inviting us to join you. Hello, everyone.
Hello,
Thank you so much for inviting us to join your webinar, to pop in and say hello, and thank you very much for all that you're doing to promote our VTCT qualifications. It's really exciting to work with you all in Greece, and we're looking forward to that continuing over the next months and years. There's lots of hellos in the chat that I can see. It's really kind.
Okay, Lucy, can I just ask you one thing? Okay, because we're touching on, we introduced the diploma in education and training level 5 today, and you can, I don't know if you can see this, okay?
Yeah, I can see that on screen.
Lovely,
yeah.
Okay. Why, according to you, is the level 5 diploma in education in training important in the UK?
You know, that's a really good question, and for us,
Thank you.
kind of thank you. That's why you're so great. It gives a standard. It's a quality mark for what you are doing. It's a recognized qualification, just as you said. It's one of our Ofqual regulated ones. And I think it gives that standardized approach. And also for the person that's achieved this, you've got that qualification to show that you've got a recognized qualification that's transferable. For us as an awarding organization, we like teachers and assessors to have these qualifications because it just gives us that reassurance about the quality of the work that you're doing at the centre. And it's part of our quality monitoring activities. It's something that we do check for. Some of our vocational qualifications, we have got requirements for internal quality assurance certificates as well as teaching certificates. So it's a really useful thing for people to have. We would highly recommend that they do take up the offer of the training that you have.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Because I had a question previously from a university graduate. Excuse me. Is it useful for us to have it? I mean, we're all university graduates, and I think that it's very important to have your training, you know, and carry on. That's all for me, okay, at the moment. I've been talking for a long time, Lutz, okay?
Yeah. Have you got a lot of people at your webinar today? It looks like
today, yes, there were around 72 people because we had the previous webinar in November where we had majority of people, something like 200 people. But today, those who were mostly interested in the diploma in education and training, I think, have joined in and stayed until the end. Okay, so it's quite good. I'm very pleased about that. Okay, and we're here to help and assist people who want to progress in education and who want qualifications that are, as you said, transferable. That's a key word, because there's a lot of mobility and people need to be, you know, to be qualified. So if need arises, you know, if need comes, they'll have something to present other than some certification, teacher training course, certified teacher training course, or university degree. Okay, thank you, Lucy.
That's okay.
Hannah? Is Hannah in there too?
Hannah's here. Dawn's having some IT issues.
Okay.
Hi. So I work in Lucy's team. I'm the assessment administrator, and I'm basically the person who is sorting out all the exams from our side to get them all ready, doing the helping getting the marking sorted out, getting them sent over, sticking to timelines. So I'm behind the scenes working, getting them sorted.
Let me just inform the people here that Hannah is very good to us because we've been, you know, we've been troubling these people all the time because, well, not Ioana, but I'm fairly new, isn't it? You know, in this, and it's been a privilege to work with these ladies because they're that are back on call literally, and we have, you know, all the nitty-gritties of problem solved immediately. So that's very good. They're a very good team. Okay.
What we're here for.
Yeah, exactly. It's the quality service that we want to give. Anyway, there we go. Thank you so much for asking us to pop in and say hello to everyone.
Thank you, Lucy and Hannah. Thank you.
I hope to see more of you when we're over in Greece next year. So that's
okay.
Lovely. All right.
Thank you,
Take
Lucy.
care,
Thank you,
everyone.
Hannah.
Thank you
Bye
so
bye.
much.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye. Okay, if you have any more questions in the meantime, are there any more questions? Have people? No? Okay. I will let you go if there are no other questions. I'd like to thank you all once more. Okay. We will be issuing an email or a newsletter, call it what you like. It might be a newsletter with all the info regarding the diploma in education and training. Anything else concerning the exams is on our website, okay? And we actually would love to, assist you in anything. Now, if you decide to work with us, we will offer any help that we can. And I want you to take this into serious consideration. One of my favorite publishers, and well, she's passed away now, Gina Pavulatou Vlahu, used to say, it's good to have a win-win relationship. So for us, a win-win relationship would be anything from a small return to adding up your numbers so you can do you can complete a qualification free of charge. Okay, so I will have more info on that when we start the diploma in education and training. Okay, this concerns the diploma in education and training, all the ESOL qualifications, and the training in the diploma in translation. Because, for example, if you don't have something like 2,000 euros to spend on the training for the diploma in translation, and you have a good number of students, okay, to sit exams, we are here to offer the training, okay? And can Dawn, are you online? Dawn is online.
Yeah.
Okay, hello, this is Dawn Smith. Okay,
Hi.
hello. It's so good to see you, Dawn. Introduce yourself, Dawn. Okay.
Hi. So I'm Dawn Smith. I work with VTCT. I am an assessment developer and an examiner.
Okay, we've introduced people to the ESOL exams, obviously, for the second time. This is our second webinar. And we've also introduced the level 5 diploma in education and training, Dawn. Okay.
Right. Excellent.
Could you please tell us a
Okay.
few words on how you feel about that and what's good about it? Thank you.
I think the diploma has a great deal of flexibility and is really practical and really useful from that point of view. It gives you the chance to have some autonomy over what you're doing. I think that to me is the main thing.
Okay, right. Dawn, because we plan to work with an establishment in the UK to offer the training for the diploma in education and training. Okay, we'll have concluded that in February, hopefully, and we hope to start in March with people that are interested in this.
Brilliant. Yeah. And it's really it's really up to date as well, and it really has that sort of modern feel to it, which allows you to develop. So I think it will go really well, and I wish you all the best with it. So yeah, definitely.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
It was good to see you. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. And I'll speak again soon. Okay.
Okay. Thank you, Dawn. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay, I'd like to thank you all again, and I will be sending all the info regarding the level 5 diploma in education and training concerning how the training will take place, when it will start. And there's another question here. No, okay, because it said Q&A 1. That's one. Okay, right. All right. So I wish you all a lovely day. I wish you a Merry Christmas with your loved ones. And I hope that 2024 will be a beautiful year for everyone. Okay. Thank you again for honoring us and attending this webinar. And we're here at your beck and call, whatever you need. Okay. Feel free to bother us. Okay. Wishing you a Merry Christmas. Both I and Joanna say goodbye. Okay. Bye-bye.